Hummingbird sage. Hummingbird sage is the only sage that will grow well in the shade. Other sages hybridize freely, and we have all kinds of varieties, but they all started as native plants. Now we got 3 plants: purple, blue, and white hummingbird sage. That's all you're going to see when you're hiking. Here we got about 16 different varieties that are cultivars from those original sages.
So what is this?
Plastic.
Yeah, it's plastic.
Yeah.
It looks almost stone-ish, you know, or adobe-ish, but
that retain all the water from any sort of roof runoff.
You guys hear back? You want to read this? Come on forward and read it. It's pretty interesting.
It's better to stick it in the ground.
I'm sure as construction guys, you know about capturing water.
Yeah, we've been talking about that.
yeah.
You can see the pipe coming down from the roof, and it collects up there, piped into here. But it seems to work.
How fast does it fill up?
Well, it says it takes 3.5 inches of rain falling on a small section of this roof to fill this tank. I don't know how long it takes for the
It
tank
would probably take half a day at least.
Yeah, tank that will fill for about 5 times in a typical winter, but not much in this.
Yeah, it's a dry, like I'm into chanterelle mushrooms. Okay, you need 3.5 inches of rain to get chanterelles in this area.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So a lot of mushrooms must grow up in the Olympic Peninsula where it rains a lot.
I spent a lot of time up in Del Norte County,
okay.
And that's why I learned about chanterelles.
Yeah, okay.
I forgot about all the other mushrooms, but chanterelles are the ones that are so good to eat. But they do, if it's not a climate, we're in the Mediterranean climate zone, as you guys may know.
Yeah.
That means we get all of our rain during 3 or 4 months of the year, when these winds bring the water across from the Pacific or the Atlantic. That's why it's a Mediterranean climate. And that means the plants have to do most of their life cycle in that short period. And then, more importantly, they have to be adapted to endure maybe 6 or 8 months of drought. So all these plants are doing okay, even though we are in a very limited drought period. I think this 15 to 18 inches is average. Now we're down below 10, I think. So it's, but the plants, again, this adaptation over hundreds of thousands of years, most plants are doing pretty well, including the redwoods.
But the plants that you have here in the garden, you guys do irrigate.
Yeah, we do irrigate certain sections, depending on the section.
The redwoods.
Yeah, we irrigate the redwoods. That explains the white stain you'll see on the bottom of the redwood.
Oh, right.
It sprays out from the side. Okay. I'm not sure what the purpose of this little pond. No, what's nice? It looks nice. What is this called? Oh, this is the aster. I know it's one of the Asteraceae. I think that yellow flower is one of the blooms of this section here. Asteraceae, as you know, is the biggest.
The sunflower family?
Yeah, the
The
sunflower.
daisy family?
You can somehow landscape your yards, the waters as well.
So I don't spend my time going into the different species so much as I tell people what the the disarray arrangement of the Asteraceae. Now again, there's sage of different kinds, and again, see, this is another one of those sunflower families of Heterotheca San Bruno mountain, a particular variety of mountain asters. And this is buckwheat, as you can see. And buckwheat, there are about 40 different varieties of buckwheat. This is a dune tansy.
But yeah, that's a good one. And you get certified.
This is a red bud.
That's the cheapest way to do it. It's like
So we're entering the Manzanita Grove here. Check out the different kinds of Manzanita. I will tell you a little bit about, I know you guys are more interested in seeing Japanese tea houses, but look at what are these called? They're Manzanitas, little apples, right?
So can you eat them?
You can. Yeah, I don't know.
They're edible?
Yeah, they're edible. Birds love them.
Do the red foxes, or do the island foxes eat them?
I'm sure they do.
They do. remember that from.
I have not asked any
Well,
of them.
let's try one of these, huh?
Yes.
Okay, let's have you try one, Patrick.
I got enough people to carry me out, I think.
Yeah, we will carry on.
I mean, anything red.
Let me tell you something about manzanitas. These little berries.
What do you think, Patrick?
I
If you
think
died, do we get an
I
A
don't
in the
think they're
class?
ripe yet.
They're not ripe. They're not ripe. There's not a lot of juice, but it's just kind of slightly sour juice. It's fine.
Okay.
Hey, think about how manzanitas are pollinated. As you know, the flowers come out in the winter time. They're little urn-shaped flowers that hang down
Blueberry.
in clumps. Now, how do you pollinate a little?
I don't think they're right.
Yeah.
A little bat
It's done by buzz pollination. And here's what happens. A bee will come along, hang up after the nectar in the little flowers in January, February, and it will hang upside down under these little flowers. While it's hanging upside down, it unhinges its wings. Although its body continues to vibrate to the tone of C. Meanwhile, the bee is busy getting nectar from the little upside down flowers,
Nice.
and it doesn't care what's happening, but that tone of C, its body continues to vibrate even though its wings are immobilized. And it vibrates to the tone of C. So if you take a tuning fork, hold it under, the pollen will drop down.
Oh, with only the tone of C.
Just the tone of C.
So if I have an app that has the tone of C, and if I put it underneath
It's
the
at the
flower,
right time when there's plenty of pollen there, you
It
might
get some
I'm
pollen.
not going to guarantee it, but I do think it would probably
the
work.
tone of C.
Now, how does it evolve that way?
NEC, or does that have to be like C6,
I'm
C7?
into pollination strategies. I'll give you some more weird ones as we go along. But that is called buzz pollination. Other
Buzz
plants do that too. Yeah, buzz pollination. When it gets its nectar, then
Is
it
that what
hooks
the
up
college
its
kids
wings
say?
again and continues to fly off.
So birds can't do anything about it. So
Hummingbirds can get
they can.
they can get underneath. I don't know how they do it, but I've seen hummingbirds light on these plants. I don't know if they're getting any nectar or not.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
anyway, look at all the different varieties. All manzanita. The trip with the manzanitas is that there are over 60 species, and most of them are found in California. But a different species will be found in a different place. So you'll see the location on some of the plaques that identify the different species. Most of them had reddish kind of bark. Some of them are tree size. Others are prostrate. But they all have these little white flowers, and many of them have shaggy bark, kind of like this one too.
And are there some that are like endangered or?
There are some that are quite rare.
Yeah.
There's one up in the meadow that it came kind of rescued from San Francisco
Okay.
as they were building a freeway, and we propagate them whenever possible.
Right.
So there are now a few of them left, but that was it was like the last one
Oh, wow.
of that species. Now there are a few more. Yeah, look at all the different forms, but they all have things in common, like the reddish bark. And here's another. All of these manzanitas are pretty interesting. Let's see. Let's go down. So we'll get down to the tree house eventually here very quickly, I hope. And again, this is again another variety. Fox will tell you what variety it is, but it is a manzanita.
Yeah. Bark.
Yeah, it is bark. All of
These
the little apples
irises,
are coming out
they
on
just
it.
pop.
That's a canyon.
Yeah, this is like this week.
Nice.
They only flower like 2 or 3 weeks out of the year.
Just because you guys are not botanists, I want you to know this plant
Iris
is pelicanthus. It's called a spice bush.
Oh.
And if you want to, I won't arrest
Patrick,
you
you
if you.
gonna try it?
Yeah, rip off the leaf and smell it. Take a leaf and smell it.
You can use
Just one
Yeah,
leaf.
spice bush.
Chew on it. Smell.
Just smell.
So this is a native right here?
Yes, it's native. It's also native back east too at other places, but it's
Where's it
native.
native? Where do you usually
I
see
don't
it?
know in back east. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm originally from Iowa, but I've been here for 20 years. I don't see it.
I'm at work for a while. But
Ohio.
I never went back.
You'll never go back.
Does this not have a lot of smell?
Is this a careful kind of?
Oh,
yeah.
crush it up a little.
Oh yeah. No, it's like a slight citrusy.
It does have a beautiful reddish flower, but it doesn't flower every year. It depends on the.
So can you do anything with this?
This one's starting to bud out. See that?
Oh, nice.
That'll
This
be
and
like
like,
candy.
and like
So is
some
this
tea.
valuable for anything?
Crush it up
They
like
use it for spices. They citrus in some places. I have not never used it. I want to eat this.
It's cool. It's very lush.
Put it in tea.
Yeah. Have you used it?
No, I haven't. But I want to pass it.
It's actually got a nice smell.
So what would happen if I used it?
The hospital's nearby.
All of these, a few months ago, all of these little berries were part of the little white flower. And like everything else, though, it has to be pollinated. Let's go down this way.
Down?
Yeah.
These guys are gonna be watching the video for quite a while.
Yeah, there's one of them more like a tree than a
We're
shrub.
missing out.
Manzanita.
We had a
You
few
see that
manzanas,
sometimes the leaf shape is different, but they all have certain characteristics.
Yeah. Does the wood burn well? I mean, does
Yeah.
Native Americans use it for fire?
Yeah. What you can't use it for is walking sticks. Except I was up north and I did manage to make a walking stick.
Yeah.
They say in San Francisco, early on, they give people a reward if they find a straight enough section to make a walking stick. Really hard to do it. Very, very difficult.
Yeah.
I bet I make walking sticks if I had to. I only made one manzanita walking stick. Yeah, probably. Maybe this month or next month too. We're still in April. Yeah, we're in May. Okay. Well, there it is. Yeah, let's go down this way. We're coming up from down below, because otherwise we go down a steep road.
At the tea house.
Yeah.